We did a good one this week, guys.
Yeah, we did so good. That's why we had a boss walk, because we were just like, we're feeling ourselves today.
We have 4 DIY wall sconces, and all of them are amazing and easy and look gorgeous.
They're so good. And also, my name's Kelsey.
And I'm Becky.
And we're the TheSorryGirls.
So this has been like a long, ongoing struggle for I think both of us.
Yeah.
We love wall sconces. They're super trendy right now, but try and find a beautiful one that's less than like $200 for one.
Seriously.
And often you want to buy them in pairs, so that doubles the cost. So we were not having any of it.
We figured out 4 easy solutions. 4. And we're gonna run these easiest to hardest, but even the hardest one is not that hard. We're super excited about them. We hope you guys like them. You're gonna subscribe and like this video before it even starts, because I know the real fam does that. And we're gonna jump right into these DIYs.
So this first wall sconce is super easy to do, and I'm sure you've seen variants of it around the internet on different design boards and whatnot, because it is so good. I'm gonna show you exactly how you can make it. So the 2 things you're gonna need are this wooden wall bracket from IKEA, I think it's called Ekby, and literally is only $2, like $1 something US. It's super affordable, and the other piece you're gonna need is just a standard light cord. You can get these almost everywhere, but IKEA as well. Okay, so first up, there already are some holes in this because it's meant to be used with a shelf. You'd screw a shelf into it, but we're gonna use the top hole at the front to put the cord through. Now, this hole is a bit smaller than I need it to be, so I'm gonna take a drill bit that's the size of the cord and drill a hole, making this hole bigger. And then next up, I'm gonna use a saw to cut in from the front into the hole to make a little notch that I can slide the light cord into place. And last, you can just take the remaining cord and wrap it around the bracket in whatever way you think looks nice. So that was all of 3 steps: drill, cut, and wrap, and you have this gorgeous, chic looking wall sconce. All you need to do is now hang it with the holes that the bracket already comes with, and then this is so simple and so beautiful. So.
So this wall sconce is going to be a wire wall sconce. That's going to be the base of it, and actually this one's super affordable, as all the ideas are. Base cost of materials for this one is pretty much like $8.50 US, not including the light bulb. We got this one from IKEA for like $8-ish, but these materials here, only $8.50. So I got a meter of this just because it was the minimum, but we don't really need that much. You just want a wire that's going to be sturdy enough to hold its own shape, but still that you can bend easily. So first off, we're gonna screw off this part of our light cord. This is the part that holds the lampshade on. And then we're just gonna take our wire, and somewhere kind of in the middle of the wire, we're going to wrap it around that base of our lamp cord, the area where your light bulb would screw into. Make sure it's nice and snug and looks a little something like this. And then add back on your screwy piece and sandwich the wire in between. And then we're gonna take our light bulb of choice. We're just doing this step just to figure out how big the light bulb is, see how much room it takes up, since our light bulb is a little bit bigger. And now we're gonna have something that looks like this. It's coming together very quickly. So my wire is actually going to bend in where I want it to, and then it's gonna go into the wood, and that's gonna get how it's going to be held onto the wall. So if this piece of wood is on my wall, maybe I want it that far away. So then I'm just going to mark on my wire. Just kidding. Hold please. Just make sure it's pretty even to the other side. And then from that spot where I'm going to bend it on a sharp 90-degree angle, I'm gonna leave maybe about 1.5 inches of wire to go into the wood and act as my secure way to hold it in there. And once I measured a little bit past the fold line, I just cut it with some wire cutters. So then, working with a 1x2 piece of pine, I'm going to measure out what size I want my piece of wood to be. This is really up to you, but we kind of wanted it to sit like a small profile. You could do like a really long piece of wood and then your wire would go long, but you want to kind of go like straight back ideally. So then we just cut a piece of that using a handsaw. I ended up cutting mine 3 inches. So I'm gonna be drilling 4 holes. I'm going to be doing 2 directly into the side. That's where my wires are going to slide into, and I'm only gonna make that hole as deep as my wire. And then I'm gonna do 2 at the front, kind of sitting on top of each other vertically. I almost forgot what vertical was. I'm gonna do 2 from the front vertically, and that's where my screws are gonna go. So I need to only make those small enough so that it's like a pilot hole for my screw. So next up, I'm going to be stripping the wire that's actually going into my block of wood. So just use some wire cutters or an X-Acto knife to just take off that plastic. And then I'm going to fill the holes with construction adhesive and then pop in my wire. and then let that dry completely. You might wanna leave it overnight just to get that full, secure glue. And then the last step was to prime it and paint it. We did a black. And this is how the final looks. It looks so sleek. I can't believe how easy this was and how simple it is. And then all you need to do is screw it into your wall, use your drywall anchors if necessary, and then unscrew your lamp cord so that you sandwich the pieces just like we did in the beginning. Add your light bulb, and you guys have a wall sconce. And it was cheap and easy and didn't cost you $500, which is what all the other ones do.
Okay, this sconce is amazing because it's super renter, super dorm, super everything friendly because it doesn't require any screwing into the wall, and even better, it doesn't even require an outlet. That's how great this one is. So this is gonna be a string light powered sconce, and we're gonna make it out of 3 layers of wood. So get yourself some wood. Thickness doesn't matter, but go for something not too heavy because we're gonna hang it on a wall using just like sticky hooks. The wood I'm gonna be using is pine. And then when you are picking your 2 bottom pieces, just make sure that whatever string lights you're using, the battery pack is skinnier than your 2 pieces combined. That's really the only rules for this one. My first step is gonna be to cut out a shape out of my top piece. I wanna do a triangle because triangles are fun and trendy and really cool. So I'm gonna cut out a nice triangle out of this piece. So I drew out my first main front triangle, and this ended up being a triangle with 10-inch sides. Of course, you can do this to any size you want, but this is how big mine is. So my second piece is gonna be a slightly smaller triangle that just sits underneath of the back of this one. And we want it to be kind of close to this size, just a little bit smaller because we're gonna be putting the string lights behind this one. And obviously the closer they are to the edge, the more you'll see their light and they won't be hidden in shadow. So my next triangle I'm gonna draw is probably gonna be an 8.5-inch triangle. That just makes it a smaller one that will sit behind it. And then my very third piece is going to be a rectangle, and that's gonna be one that fits inside my smaller triangle. And once all those 3 pieces are drawn out on the wood, I'm gonna cut them out with a circular saw. So to figure out how big that last third piece needs to be, on your smaller triangle, place the battery pack in a good spot where the battery switch is really easy to access. From there, you can figure out where a rectangle fits nicely above it and measure out that shape, and then draw it on another piece of wood and cut that out as well. Okay, so I have all 3 pieces cut out and sanded and they're looking great. So the next step is gonna be to layer them all on top of each other and wood glue them tight in place. Okay, so all my 3 layers are stacked and glued together really tight, and this is pretty much done now. So the next step is going to be taking that battery pack and sticking it back here. I'm gonna use some of that 3M Velcro to hold the battery pack on. You could of course glue it, but I might wanna use these lights again for something else, so I want them to be removable. Stick it back here and wrap the light. And then to finish up the string lights, I just took the end and wrapped it around one of the previous strings to kind of hold it all in place. And the very last step is to add a hole in our back block. And I'm gonna make it so that you can use one of those removable 3M like hooks so it can go on a wall and doesn't have to make a hole in the wall. So to do this, take a drill bit and drill part of the way in. And then once you feel like it's in a little bit, turn it on a sharp angle and drill into the wood at an upward angle. And once your upward diagonal hole is complete, you can easily put a hook in there and hang it on the wall. So this is how these sconces turned out. It is so cute, so easy, so dorm, renter, everything friendly. And while it's not like the brightest thing that you could make, it does add this really fun like ambience and glow to any room.
So this next one I'm really excited for. I think it's going to look so crazy expensive, but in the end, all the supplies only cost us $25 US. So I'm gonna be starting with some 3/4 inch copper pipe, and I'm just gonna use a really simple pipe cutter to cut 2 pieces of pipe out of this. So I'm gonna do a cut at 9 inches. If you guys don't know, pipe cleaners are If you guys don't know, pipe cutters are super easy to use. You just clamp them tight and then spin around until it cuts through the pipe, and they're like only $10 to buy. So I'm gonna do about a 9-inch piece and then a longer piece that's gonna go on the wall. So I started with actually 3 feet of copper pipe. So now I have my 9 inches plus my rest. I'm gonna go for this long look on the wall, but you can cut this to whatever size you want it to be. So my next step is to actually take my light cord, and I'm going to be taking it apart because we need to take it apart in order to thread it through our copper tubing. So to take it apart, you're going to screw off this one plastic piece, which keeps the lampshade on. And when it is not plugged in, I repeat, not plugged in, take a little flathead screwdriver, and you see this gold little tab in here? You're going to want to pull that back just a little bit so that this piece can now come off. This was that gold piece that we just pushed back a little bit. Then you're going to want to unscrew this top piece. Not all lamp cords are the same, but they should be more or less similar. And then we're going to undo our wires using that same flathead. You can just unscrew this to release our wires. Remembering that the white went into the silver socket. Make sure you remember which one's which. And the black went into the gold. That's easy to remember because there's that song. Wait, the song's black and yellow, right?
Yeah, so that works.
Yeah, gold is yellow. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Now we're gonna undo this little knot and slide our wires out of everything. But make sure we keep all these pieces for later. So next up, I'm actually going to be drilling some holes. So these two items are a little bowl that we're going to use as kind of like this lampshade. We got this from Walmart, but you can get it at any kind of like home store that sells bowls and stuff. It's just a regular bowl, but we're using it as a lampshade. Then we also got a copper cap that fits onto our copper tubing, so 3/4 inch. And we're going to drill holes in both of these just in the center. We're going to make the hole big enough to fit our grommet. So for the copper cap, we were able to use our regular metal/wood drill bits, but since the bowl was a little bit thicker, different material, maybe more like steel or something, we had to use a step drill bit. These can add up a little bit, but hopefully you can borrow one from somebody if you don't already have one, or maybe your bowl is a different material so that a regular drill bit will work. So when drilling your holes in the cap and the bowl bottom, you wanna make sure that you're doing the hole a little bit bigger than the hole in the grommet, but not bigger than the grommet itself. I got a grommet that's big enough to fit our wire, and this just protects the wire. You obviously know metal conducts and you don't want anything to be touching the metal cord. So we're going to be drilling a hole and then adding our grommet. So our next step is to thread our lamp cord through all of our pieces in order to start assembling our sconce. So I'm going to thread my light cord in through the bottom piece with the grommet, through the long piece, through a 90-degree copper piece. You can just get this at the same place where you get your copper pipe. Through my short piece, through another 90-degree copper piece, and through the hole in my bowl. So when reassembling our light, we're not going to use these two top pieces, but assemble the rest as you would. To attach all my copper pieces together, I'm actually going to be using a gel super glue. This is good because it kind of like holds its place and doesn't run around everywhere. So I'm going to use a gel super glue on the edge of the 90-degree piece and hold it tight to the straight piece meets the 90-degree piece, and do the same thing again on the other sides of the 90-degree piece, all the way until you get back to the bottom, where you're going to want to pull your cord tight and attach your bottom cap. And when you're doing this, just note that the super glue does dry very fast, so make sure that you have it kind of on the right angle, because when you attach this, you could attach it like on an angle, but you wanna make sure that everything's like lined up like so. And lastly, we just purchased some 3/4 inch tube clamps so that we can nicely attach this to the wall, and then we're just gonna use screws like we normally would to attach these, and our wall sconce is all done.
Let me know which one of the 4 was your favorite. Honestly, like all 4 are my favorite. I can't, they're like my children. I love all of them.
They're so good.
I have a feeling this is gonna be one of those videos that a lot of people are gonna actually do too, which makes me really excited. Yes. So if you make these and style them in your home, please send them to us on Instagram using #SorryGirlsSquad, because my favorite thing in the world is seeing you guys make our DIYs.
You guys don't know, but around the office we'll like hold up when somebody like tags, and we'll be like, ooh, like, we all like look at it, and then we're always like, oh, they did such a good job, like so proud, but also like, I wish we did it that good.
I know, and then we often repost some of our faves to our Instagram, so please send us these if you do them.
Yes, if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a like.
And if you love it, make sure you sub it.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.